Okay, now Zappa's face. Can this be shown on? Okay, I think that's the face I'm gonna try to go with for Zappa in this piece of art. Um, it's sort of a default face he has from his sprite in Guilty Gear XX. So obviously it's like it's me doing the drawing, so we're gonna have my sort of facial style on there, but we are going to try and make it work. So the light's coming from the ghost, but I need to just get the face drawn in here a little bit. Let's start a new layer. So when people do like a real smile, they show their top, they like show their top level of teeth. But when people do a fake smile, one of the ways you know it's really faked is they'll not be showing their top level of teeth. The other way you can tell a smile is really, really faked is if the person's like if a person's smiling, they'll have they'll sort of be like that under the eyes. So we're gonna make Zappa have a very fake smile. Like this is his tongue, by the way. We're actually gonna involve his tongue in this a little bit because that's creepy. Tongues are creepy. Tongues are creepy when they're seen at a point that they shouldn't really be seen. And then we're actually going to just go with the crazy eyes. The far eye is going to be a little bigger than the other. But I'm going to make damn sure there's none of that under his cheeks. Even if his eyebrows are raised. In fact, I should probably make one eyebrow kind of in a worried position. I mean, he's possessed by ghosts too. We can have him be technically whatever we want facial like his face shape and whatever. It could be whatever we technically want. So yeah, we're just gonna like completely embrace the comicness of it rather than any sort of realism. Now I do know I put this line over here and I really shouldn't, so we're gonna take it out because I think the nose is gonna be, god damn it, I actually think the nose is gonna be really hard to do like this because, well, not really. We're just gonna start in the nose then. So nose, because we have ghost light, the ghost light on the far side, this is gonna be pretty much the side of his face is gonna have all of the light, and then his eyes are gonna be just white, just whites of his eyes, just no humanity at all. So we're gonna make sure the ghosts are pretty bright too. So yeah, our ghosts are gonna be our light source for this side of his face. We're gonna make whatever color. I think I'm gonna go with like the kind of weird bluish purple the ghosts are for their color, and that's gonna really inform what this light actually is. I actually don't know if we're gonna do drool like that outside his mouth. might be entering a realm of weirdness that we wouldn't be able to get out of. So I'm going to switch to a shadow because this is going to be predominantly in shadow. This is also where we get a little weird. Like, this is going to be the weirdest part and the most difficult part, I think, because he's upside down. So our light source is actually coming from this direction. And that's going to make it kind of another layer of weird, because I think now I've got the face actually drawn in. No, this might actually be too weird. Too weird to draw. Too weird to do the shading upside down even. Because we still want a general light source to be sort of on this side as well. Yeah, you know what? It's just way... It's way too bizarre for me to do it like that. I mean, it's gonna be bizarre regardless. But, because actually his forehead's going to be all in shadow, I think, except that we're going to have the ghost light on this side a bit. And I think it's actually going to be like this. So it's like it's almost like we're doing actually, this side of his nose should be a little in light, I think, as well. It's almost like we're doing... Because then this would also be in light, because it's light coming and hitting his brow like that. So, yeah, technically this should be all very, very bright. And then the top of his cheeks. See, we're almost doing like, the lighting you would get from, like, lighting a character from below. This is the lighting we're going to end up with, I think. And it is... It's going to add a level of bizarrety to this that, yeah, it's just going to be bizarre. It's totally bizarre and absolutely, utterly inhuman to have this character, or any character like this, to me. This also means technically this part of the nose is dark, and we're gonna have light on that. But it also means that this part of the nose here is gonna be lit up. I actually love when illustrations go this way, because it's like solving a puzzle now, where it's like, okay, the light's coming in this way, it's gonna hit here, 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 and here, and it's gonna not hit here, 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 and here. But it's going to be like really hard. It's going to be really heavy, like on the edge of his chin here. And then like his ear's also going to get that like that. Unfortunately, I can't hide the ear behind hair. So we're going to have to actually do a little detail work on an ear, which I'm fine with. But ears can look wonky sometimes when I get into them. Oh, we're getting into the fun freakiness here. Curse you, Orange Cocoa. No, I'm kidding. It's actually really fun to do this right now. Oh, that face. Let's only hope it doesn't haunt me in my dreams. So we can actually get into the hat now. And the hat's the same color as his jacket, shirt, whatever it is. But we're gonna force the dark on this side first. And we're actually gonna put So the front of this hat, it kind of has a panel that's the orange. And then we got our ghost light highlight on this side, it looks like. And this hat actually has one of those damn glowing buckles on it too. Now his hat has one of those hearts on it as well. The hat's actually one of the more detailed things about this design. Now, if I were, you know, we're gonna have to put the heart in there. It's not a real heart. It's like a weird, janky heart. This is actually not bad for 10 minutes of just 10 minutes of throwing down that face. Now we're gonna do this point like this, and then it has like a curlicue on it, but I'm not going to put that detail in because what we're actually going to be doing for this heart is his hair we're going to actually have his hair cover most of this hat. So we're going to put the seams in that are in here, and it's actually a seam on this little panel here. Don't ask me how this hat is staying on his head. No, wait, I know the answer. Never mind. It's ghosts. That's sort of an easy thing for Zappa, because it's like, why would anything in this piece of artwork look the way it does? Well, that's simple. The answer is ghosts. Why is a thing distorted like a thing? Ghosts. Why does it look like that? Ghosts. The answer is ghosts. So it just gets super lazy with excuses. It's ghosts. It's always ghosts. His hair is actually cut very well, his hair is black, so we can just grab black so we can see where we're putting it. His hair is actually cut very square, which is pretty helpful because it means we can actually have it cut square as well. Now, I'm not actually pulling his hair from like a hairline. It's sort of, yeah, this underside needs to be way darker. Even though it's the color of his jacket, this is all technically underneath him, underneath any sort of light source. Yeah, even though his hair isn't coming from his hairline at all in this. It's coming from sort of bending around the hat. That's how I want to have the hair working. And then actually this slight bright here is going to be ghost light coming in this direction. And just hitting this all with a highlight. So we're actually going to put our highlights. His hair's black, but we're still going to put some we're still going to put our highlights in here, and we can go back over it and sort of tone back the brights we're putting in. It's sort of something I did in the Jam video as well, where I'd go in and I'd put like a harsh highlight on her hair, and then go back and tone it down, and go back and pick it up again, to sort of try to add subtlety to the hair. And for him, we're gonna just like knife out the squareness of his hair as well. I can go back in. We'll just go pick out these highlights. I'm gonna do just a little. Grab a gray. We're just going to put a little bit of neutral gray down here. And I'm sort of putting in like single strands, because his hair would definitely be like splitting up a little, but it's like I don't want to go too much into getting like every single strand of hair in here, because that's just a lot of work for not really what we want to go for in the look of hair. Did I just start doing that in yellow? I did. I meant to grab the white that's on this. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to call it on his hair, because otherwise it's just gonna take me forever and ever just sitting here noodling it. Okay, so I think our figure of Zappa would be done in this case. I'm just gonna lighten this up a little bit, because the ghost light would be hitting in the top of his foot. I'm gonna put a slight highlight on that, put a slight highlight there. Oofta. Yeah, back. I'm sort of hunched over, so my back's kind of hurting. You know, as an aside, I've thought about getting a Veridesk so I can stand and work at the same time. Okay, you know what I am going to do? Let's pick up a highlight. Just a little bit. Because, I mean, he is, after all, upside down, and his tongue is sort of lolling out. So, we're just going to put a little gross on there. Now, for these ghosts, we're actually going to do a new layer first. But we're actually going to hit this whole area over with give it a once over of gray tone. Because even though the ghosts are gonna be a light source over here, I'm actually gonna draw one, and then just copy and paste it. Not to be lazy, but because they're ghosts, I think that it'd be funny to just have them be exactly the same ghost every time. And we're actually gonna get a little stylistic with them. Wait, I actually want to do them in their own... Actually do them in very much their own layer above the gray. So, I don't want to diverge too much from the way Zappa's ghosts look, but I think I'm gonna do them more loosely. So yeah, I thought about getting a Veridesk, which is, if anyone doesn't know, it's sort of like it's not a full desk, it's like a stand that you put on your desk. That sort of it's a stand that you put on your desk, and you put like your keyboard and your mouse and your whatever on it, and you can raise or lower your items you need raised or lowered relative to your position of standing or sitting. Because I've been thinking about doing my artwork, like, just for health reasons is the main reason I'm thinking of this. To do artwork standing up, and to do like most of my computer work, because I'm on my computer all day when I'm not at my day job. So I've been considering doing that for health reasons mostly, because being sedentary is generally considered bad. And I'm pretty much sedentary my entire day, and I really want to change that. So I'm considering getting a Veridesk, and I'm hoping, like, I don't get back pain from just sitting and doing stuff. But I'm hoping, like, standing will at least provide some sort of, like, I don't get back pain, but it's sort of like the same thing of, like, bed sores. Like, just sitting and doing nothing is just becoming a, not like a source of pain, but it's sort of a, like, you do get sore just sitting in one position or staying in one position all day. So I'm hoping it would help me move around as well. Yeah, again, not to get too personal on these. I mean, it's my art. What the hell am I saying? It's my goddamn art show. I can talk about whatever the hell I want. But yeah, it's like, I have been considering getting a Veridesk to do that. So ghosts are coming along pretty okay. Now ghosts are kind of using my global light source, but really their own light source should technically be from within themselves. When you really think of it. But at the same time, it's like, they're ghosts. They're technically not a real thing. And yeah, they shouldn't. But I mean, just in terms of a fictional creature, they can have their own damn rules. You know, I don't think I've ever actually mentioned this on any recording for either games or for art, but I am absolutely skeptical towards paranormal activity and things like UFOs. And there are things where it's like, I'm I'm outright damn hostile to certain things like that. And it's gonna sound weird, because despite the fact that my training lies, in art, in the artistic world, I'm actually hugely logically minded in what in just the way I think. And I'm also interested in math and science, and it's one of the things that actually bugged me about art school was, like, in freshman year, there was always the, oh, so why'd you, oh, I don't want to do that. So why'd you decide to go to art school? And they're like, I couldn't really do math, so, I said, I'm going to be an artist. And I was like, I turned down an advanced calculus placement to come to art school because I enjoyed drawing. And it's like, one of the things that bugged me the most was how, like, this, and it's actually, not to get way too into it, it's one of the things that's bugging me about the country right now, is this sort of embracing of ignorance that's happening, and the shunning, oh, I set it to dissolve, the like shunning of academia and people who are academic. It's something that absolutely bothers the ever-loving crap out of me. Yeah, I'm full on like blurring the line between Zappa and Ghost right now. Yeah, Ghost actually, they have a lot of detail. Like they have buttons even. They'll put little like indications of buttons. But we're gonna do another kind of freaky thing on them. We're gonna put I guess an inverse glow would be the term. I keep hitting Shift plus minus, and it keeps changing my my blending styles. So yeah, I'm very, very, very skeptical of things like ghosts and UFOs, and this guy doesn't have the top of his head. I think. Wait, I wonder if we keep him in front. No, that's not going to work either. Because, yeah, I didn't realize how much I didn't realize I actually did some gray work on him, so let's... Damn it. So before we actually work with that, we're going to go like this. Grab a brush tool, make it blurry again, and we're actually going to fade that side of him out with a layer mask. Now let's try this. Go like that. Obviously, we're gonna have a little work to do, but yeah, I'm super skeptical of ghosts. UFOs, the concept exists in my mind. There are definitely things that are considered, quote unquote. Actually, I don't think I need to do that, guy. Quote unquote unidentified flying objects, but there's sort of a. Yeah, if I were smart, I would have been like, oh, that's the top of the page. Top of the image, we should absolutely build the ghost in the middle of the image and then place him, but I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't thinking. Talk about screwing up the logical parts of my brain. It's okay if they look a little different. It's my excuse now. We'll make the ghosts look a little different. I think I'm drawing into a layer mask now. So let's actually go way back on that. That was me hitting the wrong key. That happens all the time. Yeah, ghosts, paranormal, things of that nature, I am very, very skeptical about, and I will get in arguments with people over whether they exist, to the point where I am like borderline threatening with the no, that's not right, stop being an idiot over ghosts type of thing. So these have become far less like exactly Zappa's ghosts and more like, oh, they're actually things that will haunt your nightmare. I hope anyone watching this is fine with that. I mean, they follow the design of Zappa's ghost, but I kind of just took them in a I'm gonna scream myself awake nightmare state. I'm looking at him now and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Like, this is absolutely terrifying. But you know what? Really, shouldn't his ghost be kind of more terrifying in a piece of artwork than they normally would be? And finally we can get away from the damn blurry brush and go into like doing the actual highlights here in a not blurry brush. Yeah, I think the side of his face should be just really blown out. Actually, the top of his hat and down here is all gonna get ghost lit. So in talking about UFOs, something interesting has happened on the internet, or just in general regarding the concept of a UFO. And that is, if you look at UFO pictures, as soon as the internet started to propagate, they started to reduce in number very, very greatly. If you look, it's like in the late 90s there were shows like Sightings and Unsolved Mysteries, and there are all these shows that had sort of a UFO bend at some points, and they'd be like, here's definitive proof of a UFO in blah, 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 place, and it's like, it's, you know, some sort of very blurry image of, it's a very blurry image of, you know, like the standard saucer in the sky type of thing. And it's like, yeah, that would be kind of a, like, oh, it's like, oh, that kind of looks convincing because it's, you know, a thing in the sky and it's not a normal thing in the sky. And then someone was like, oh, wow, that's really convincing. But now it's like, with the propagation of tools like Photoshop and stuff, and with the internet, it's like legitimate quote-unquote UFO pictures have just stopped. And if they exist, it's like, yeah, you can Photoshop that. So it's very hard to just make a UFO image now, and I think it's actually a good thing because it'll mean just less fraud about a certain topic, about that certain topic, and it also sort of makes it where it seems to me that very obviously older pictures of UFOs were freaking frauds. They were absolutely just pieces of bullshit that people made up for attention. Yep, that's ghosts. That's ghost done. Oh my god, what did I do with them? Now we gotta do sword. What is my time at, first of all, though? 36. We're good to go. So sword has a gold handle. Yeah, so it's one of those things that's like UFOs, I think, have been more or less not debunked, but I think that they're definitely more along the lines of the concept of an by definition unidentified flying object. I think is legitimate. Just a thing in the sky, you don't know what it is, and you say, "Oh, that's a UFO." That's actually, I think, a legitimate thing to say. It's like, I see a thing in the sky, I don't know what it is, therefore it is an unidentified flying object. But what I'm getting at is there a lot of these things like sightings and whatnot would go instantly from, "Oh, it's a UFO." It's like, "Oh, I see a thing in the sky. That's a UFO. I don't know what that is." Or I said that in reverse. "Oh, an unidentified thing in the sky. I don't know what it is, therefore it's a UFO." The legitimate way of saying it. But it would go from that to, "Is this proof of extraterrestrial life having visited Earth?" And it's like, well, no, it's an unidentified thing in the sky. And I think that having the internet around now, it's like you absolutely cannot fool people anymore. But also the tools like Photoshop propagating. It's like you can't get away with a UFO picture anymore. That is like just a thing in the middle of blue, blue sky. It's like it's not going to work. But anyways, I think what I was saying was the concept of a UFO is a thing you see in the sky, you don't know what it is, therefore unidentified flying object, is actually a legitimate thing. It's a legitimate thing to say. It's legitimate. I don't know what that is, and it's okay to say I don't know what that is in reference to something. But what I'm getting at is a lot of these old shows would go straight from "I don't know what that thing in the sky is" to aliens, and it's like that's just no, that's not how it works. It's not how it's gonna work. Oh, god damn it. It gets really hard to do shift. Shift strokes sometimes when you're near the top of the screen, because you'll send Photoshop just screaming upward. But yeah, Ancient Aliens, top of my list of, oh fuck you. In case anyone wanted to know what'll get me really riled up really quickly, yeah, Ancient Aliens. Show is goddamn bullshit. It's bullshit in so many ways. Like, I don't know if I have the time actually in this video, or if this video is the proper place for me to just go on a rant about fucking Ancient Aliens. Incidentally, since I said bullshit, I'm talking about TV. I actually think the show Bullshit was bullshit. Like, that's how like skeptical and disbelieving I am of people telling me stuff. I do honestly think the show bullshit was a load of bullshit. I mean, I could get into it, but I think I'd actually rather dedicate a whole video to doing to like, because this is, you know, my channel is my personal channel. It's not my gaming channel, so I could like post whatever I want. And I've actually considered doing a whole series on how to think that way. Think about stop it, Photoshop. About thinking that way. And just keeping track of people's, like, what you're told, and keeping track of what's bullshit and what's not bullshit. But yeah, the show bullshit is actually kind of full of bullshit. Like, the thing about the show is they had good episodes, and they had episodes where it's like, oh yeah, that's a good thing to point out to people. You know, bottled water. It's water. It's water that's pulled from, like, the tap anyways, and you're just spending money on the bottle. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can buy bottled water, it's fine. Just know that you're just saying bottled water is better than tap is a complete lie. It's complete nonsense. Tap is just as good, if not better, than bottled water in terms of water quality. I mean, it also depends on where you live, and there are other factors, but yeah, for the most part, your water at home is just going to be, it's going to be cleaner and better and cheaper ultimately for you than buying a bottle of water, unless you need the bottle. Like, that's the one thing. It's like, that's a convenience. You're paying it for a convenience, and that's fine. But there were other episodes where it's like, that's not bullshit at all. Actually, that's putting politics to putting your political spin on things, and that's like the episode of global warming was exactly that. Now, I don't actually like the way the sword has the circles cut out, so I don't know if I want to go in here and like sit here and perspective out the circles or not. I actually think sword is kind of the weakest part of this image right now. And I should probably try to hide it someplace or put it someplace. You know, let's take it, because it's all in one layer. Let's just take and Dutch it. I mean, I still really think sword is the weakest part here. The weakest part of the image. It's just very static in its appearance. What's funny is it gets like really stretched out and stuff when it does things. So maybe I could do something with it. But we got to move on to dog now. Oh, that's 45 minutes. So we have 15 minutes to get dog in here. Now, dog, like the ghosts, I'm actually just gonna, because it's a silhouette of a dog. So it's like it doesn't actually need to be that super detailed. And I'm actually gonna, I mean, I should really consider doing something like putting a skeleton in it. And I think I'll detail it as I go. But anyways, ghosts, I think are total nonsense, total and complete nonsense in real life. They're fine for a fantasy setting. They're fine for a ghost movie, but a horror movie. But as a real life thing, they are total and complete nonsense. Don't exist. It's odd. I think it's all either in people's heads or it's an effect of the environment on a person that results in a quote-unquote ghost encounter or experiencing a paranormal event that is ghost-like. Something like resonant frequency of a building, a combination of smells that result in another smell in your nose because, the human body is intensely imperfect at putting together at analyzing data that comes into it. I mean, it's actually quite great at it, but at the same time, it's also very, very bad at it. So it's a weird mix of, oh, the human body's great at putting pieces together and analyzing patterns, but we can get those patterns wrong sometimes. In fact, it's quite often we'll get patterns wrong when you really break it down. But it could be a weird pickup of like infrared light, or it could be a cold spot. Could be explained away as just a cold spot, or you hear a weird sound in the middle of the night, and it's like, well, it could be a combination of sounds. It could be a foundation settling. There's so many things it could be that just jumping from oh, I hear a noise, ghosts. It's just like, yeah, don't. Now, I actually think what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our blurred brush on the dog's sides, because we're gonna want to make it sort of look ghostly itself. And this is also gonna help with my pseudo. It also helps with the pseudo camera blur thing I end up doing a lot. And we're gonna maybe put some like gray details in here, like maybe this is we're seeing a bit of its spine and ribs and shoulder blade that we can kind of see sometimes when it does its ghost dog thing, like its bite attack. And then actually I can get my dog reference back, because I believe dog has like a gray outline around it. And we can zoom in on that. Yeah, dog is it's actually very skeletal and it's like interior. So I'm actually doing it right, kinda. And it kind of has like a little smiley face going on its side with its little growl. We can put a little skull in there. Now it does have very, very red eyes, but we're just gonna do the whites for now because we can come back and do the color later. Oakley dokley. We're gonna. So this is gonna end up being a 3-hour piece then. Because next time we're gonna do color and whatever background. And tab, Control R, Control 0, Control S. So we are going to do our background next time. We're gonna try to do maybe do a background. Like I said, I think I might do a very maybe a loose drawing of Esco in the background to sort of tie it all together. And then we are going to do color and then whatever touch-up work we need to do all next time. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys then.